So this is the elephant and castle holder on the piece that ships in your box. It will not have this part here. That was just something I did as I was prototyping and I had to fit another part on there and I didn't want to waste more wood. But yours, when it ships, will not have this. That'll be on another piece. So, as always, I recommend thoroughly sanding this stuff before you assemble, either before you punch it out, which is what I did, or you can wait and do it after you punch it out. It usually takes a little bit less work that way because there's less wood that you're actually sanding. But on the other hand, some of these parts can be sort of delicate until they're actually put together in a way where the parts will reinforce each other. So there's more of a chance that you might snap or break something. This is a new style of design that I have in this expansion, which I used both on this elephant castle holder and on the dragon holder. The bottom, the base, instead of being a flat spot and then one thing around the edge to hold things down, and then in between those just air, in this case, we've got this thing. Let me make sure that I'm doing this the right way. All right. All right, so this is wrong. And the way I just figured that out, I put the elephant in here, which is more or less where it's going to go when you have it done. And you'll notice that with these fingers lined up along here, this guy's tusk is going to be sticking way out of the box. That is not what we want. So then I'm going to flip this over, put it in the same place. And in this case, when I put this in here like this, notice that the tusks and the ears will all stay inside the bounds of the box. So this is the way I know I have it set up correctly. And I'm going to take this piece and line it up so it goes right on top of those like that. And there are very subtle differences in the shapes that are cut out between the bottom and the top. So don't worry if some things seem like they're not quite lining up in the holes. That's by design. All right. So, and the reason I'm using this design here is because we had some challenging designs in here of types that I had not seen before in this game. And I decided to go ahead and have these little bendy things that hold things in place just because I wasn't getting good results doing anything else yet. This is how it's going to look at the end. So I'm going ahead and flipping these two over. I'm going to glue on this piece, and then I'm going to bring it here. It doesn't have to exactly match, but you want to get it pretty close. And then we're going to put this together later. But before doing that, we're then going to put a little more glue along here, and then put this down, and then assemble the rest of the box. The reason we're putting all the glue on one side or the other of this is we want to make sure to completely avoid getting glue on any of these parts. Those are moving parts. As always, for these videos, I'm using Elmer's Craft Bond Tacky Glue. And in addition to that, I've got a whole bunch of clips and clamps and things like that. Primarily those office binder clamps of both large and medium size, as well as a bunch of rubber bands sitting around that I might like to use. And that all goes together after we put on the Craft Bond Tacky Glue. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of this along here. You want to keep it relatively far away from any of these places. You don't want any squeeze out to get in there and make any of those pieces at all immobile. So I'm just putting a small amount of stuff here. We've got a lot of surface area that's joining, so you don't need to be particularly generous with the glue in most spots around here. But any place you've got a big area, you might just want to go ahead and put a little bit more there. This is plenty. As a matter of fact, that might be a little bit much. All right, so now this will come over here like this. I just double check and make sure that this is going to be the right way. Let's see. Yep, and I'm just double checking to make sure that this is not going to be sticking out of the box. All right, so I'll go ahead and try to get that more or less lined up there. It's not going to be exact until we get these other parts in here that will hold it in place. But I want to get it relatively close. Now, at this point, there is a bit of a ticking time clock because that glue is going to set pretty quickly. And by pretty quickly, I mean, within 2 or 3 minutes. It's not like 30 seconds or anything like that. But you want to get this part done, and then get the rest of the box assembled before this has a chance to set on you. All right, so then this comes over here. Again, I'm going to do my best to kind of eyeball that and line it up. So at this point, I'm going to take this and put it here. Notice there's a front and a back to these things. You want to make sure these finger joints are back here. You want to make sure this little thing sticking out is here where this is. All right. Same on this one. That will be correct in this case. Oops. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on here. So at this point, I'll go ahead and bring this up. Now this might take a little bit of wiggling here, a little bit of finagling to get that to come up. So hopefully your glue hasn't started to really set yet that you put on the bottom pieces, because you'll probably need to still slide that around a little bit down there as we get this put into place. All right, let's see. All right. There we are. All right. So notice I already went ahead and put glue on these tabs here. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put just a little bit of glue here. All right, there we are. All right, so this is the elephant holder door. It still has the protective masking on it. You'll definitely want to peel that off both sides before you use this. But this has these little fingers down here. You take this, slide it down in there, and it should more or less click into place. Let's make sure that we got it right. And one of the reasons we go ahead and do this now at this step is that we have something to push against when we pull this together. So, let's see. Again, I've got all sorts of different sizes and types of office binder clips around here. So let's see if you can see this very well. So I'm going to take this and go like that to pull that in there. So these are the small size office binder clips. Let's see if I can get another one here. I'm not sure I can. Yeah, there we are. All right. And this one here might be a bit far, but let's see. Yeah, I'm going to need a larger size for that. Let's see if this will work. Nope, that's definitely too big. There we are. And we reach the Goldilocks one. All right, there we are. So that should be pressing that in there. Similarly, I'm going to go ahead and do this one here. All right. So then, oops. So you'll notice these fingers here still aren't marrying quite as well as they should. So I'm going to do this while holding this down. I'm going to do this, which pulls it in. Do the same over here on this side. Right. Then one here. Do a few of these. Can't do that one there. Right, there we are. That's all held together pretty well. If you want, you could go ahead and then still put a rubber band or two on here. And this is one of the reasons we have the door here as well, is just to make sure that these things are all square. So I'm going to take this. This is a relatively large rubber band here. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to double it over once. And I've got to make sure to get around all those binder clips. There we are. So I'm going to go ahead and do this kind of near the top. Whenever I'm doing rubber bands around something like this, I usually like to have it near a corner. Just it tends to have less problems with things bending and stuff like that. So you could run another one around the bottom here too, but I really think that these binder clips are getting the job done. So this just needs to dry. When I come back to it in a little bit, I will show you how to insert the Oliphant and the siege engines into here. Thank you very much. All right, so this has dried at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and take off the clips and rubber bands. You will notice that I added an extra rubber band here after I finished recording. I realized that these parts down here weren't really coming together, so I went ahead and added a little bit more oomph to it. Also, I probably should have put a little bit more glue in these parts. This side seemed to be fine, but for some reason this side needed a little bit more. So just keep that in mind. All right. Again, this will look nice and like glass when you take the protective film off. So let me show you how this works. So for these castle siege engine things here, they're going to go in these two. So we got the side with the rope ladder, and we got the side without. The side with the ladder is the one that goes towards this little thing here. So I put it in here like this, and then I slide this towards the little moving thing, the little bendy thing. I stick this like this. I then move this down, and then it gets caught in this little thing here. So let me do that again on the other one. I go ahead and I take this, tilt it here. Now with some of these things, also with the dragon holder that I'm going to have another video for, it can take some getting used to figure out the trick of getting this in here. So if it isn't going in right the first time, don't automatically assume that you messed it up somehow, or it's not working, or it's defective. Play around with it until you get it to go and actually snap in there. And then at that point, you'll kind of know how it works. And going forward from there, you should probably have it down a little bit more. So, you can see those were held in there pretty tight. Now we're going to do the elephant. So you'll see here for the elephant holder, this little bendy thing is right here. So I will take the elephant, that's the bendy thing. I'm going to bring it in at this angle. And then I'm going to slide it towards the front of the box so that I bend the bendy thing in, and then I let go, and it twists the elephant a little bit that way. So to get this back out, you twist it and just get it out. This is all pretty secure here, even without the door on it. There we are. All right, fantastic. So meanwhile, let me go ahead and show you what this looks like once I have peeled off the protective coating here. There we are. And this comes in here and clicks into place. And again, it should be pretty nice and secure there. So they shouldn't go bouncing around when you move this. You shouldn't have to be all that careful about shaking things or what position you have it in. I just need to put this one in here and then we will be done. I'll run through it one more time.